only dependent on the Lokpal. At least please put it back under the RTI. So that we can ask why was this investigating officer transferred when he was in the middle of, or she was in the middle of
But the testing
something.
time will be the next 2 years after when the bill is implemented, how Lokpal actually performs or functions. But people are also saying that who will check the Lokpal? What if corruption actually seeps in the institution also, Ms. Jha?
Well, that's a very, very tricky question. Although checks and balances with the right people selecting the Lokpal, that appointment of Lokpal is going to be extremely important. Well, and as far as your question is concerned, who will check the Lokpal if he is corrupt? Well, it's for the civil society in this country has become very active. The anti-corruption movement is very active now. But the selection of Lokpal has to be extremely important. That is something that they have tried to do. And well,
and also when we talk about the kind of cases, the way cases will be dealt with.
I just want to add something there. I think the bill, as it will take up these cases in in a timely manner, but they've also laid down sort of some qualifications that they shouldn't be flippant cases. So they've laid down what kinds of cases and what will be the procedure.
Do you also,
so there is a procedure in place.
Like as Mr. Singh was mentioning about the way these cases will be tackled, do you also feel that we first must give priority to the big cases, the large scams, than actually come down to the C&D corruption cases?
As I said, I'm optimistic, and I think the members who are nominated will prioritize. But I must add one other thing. There is, of course, this danger. There'll be huge number of complaints, and how do you sift and so on. But hopefully, after the bill, this act is passed, within a year there will be Lokayukts in very
Ayukt also should have been the similar framework of appointment as the Chief Minister's role in appointing the Lokoyukt.
Maybe this was the root of the problem
there should be check on that,
because the appointment.
One has seen the functioning of some Lokayukt. It doesn't give them credit for Lokayukt.
Can I clarify here? See, there are two sorts of issues as far as Lokayukt goes. One was that some people were pointing out a constitutional issue, and
that
in
was
fact,
state center.
and so therefore there was another clause under which it could have been done, and there it was that you had two options: either you quoted an international agreement under which you can legislate for matters which are state matters, or you get it passed in two state legislatures and then give the option to other states to pass it. There, if they want to pass it, they'd have to pass an identical act. So it was not as if you could go to some other act. Now, as things stand today, what he's saying is very correct, that all they've said is pass in 1 year. There is no compunction to pass an act like this. They can pass anything. I'm unhappy about it, but let me say one thing.
This should be, Lokpal bill should be taken as a model for state.
It is not very popular, and I'm sure people won't like it. Why not let the people of the state get politically mobilized in demand of their governments? Why should it be only the national government? Because then people will be far more involved in the process at the state level and will be far more watchful of their own.
Right, so you're saying that
local Anna Hazares and local Kejriwal.
Why not? Why not?
Right. That brings me to the another question that Mr. Dua, do you feel that as far as this Lokpal bill is concerned,
that there was a need for this kind of. Earlier, many parliaments, I think several attempts were made. By the time the turn came for the Lokpal bill, Parliament was dissolved so many times. We have seen at least 4 bills I have seen.
And hopefully this bill will also be passed.
Pressure from the people who were not joined Anna Hazare movement, the pressure from the people who were not joined Kejriwal also.
Especially it forced people to make them realize their power, and also now we are seeing
I think they took the initiative.
I would give credit to, frankly speaking, RTI movement, which started the whole process of anti-corruption in India.
Okay. It's now time for me to take a short break. Next when we come back in our final segment, we'll ask our panelists what's the road ahead, what needs to be done as far as checking corruption is concerned, and why is that it is said that India has the most inefficient bureaucracy in whole Asia. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Public Forum, and we're discussing the cabinet-approved Lokpal bill draft. So many say corruption is a fact of life. Is it also because of fundamental institutional weaknesses and also because of lack of political will? Mr. Singh, as we were discussing earlier also about the bureaucracy, every time when we talk about corruption, the first thing we say is that the Indian bureaucracy is very corrupt. The figures also suggest the same. In fact, Transparency International India had earlier done a whole report on this, that the way service delivery is tackled in our country. Do you feel that corruption is a fact of life in India?
Well, if you mean by a fact of life that is it inevitable, no. If you mean by a fact of life that it exists, of course it does. With all due respect to Transparency International, I think they'll be the first ones to admit it. Their report covers a sectionist difference. It's centralized. If you want anything done, you pay the president's office. Okay. I feel at least if it's decentralized, there's a greater hope in fighting it, because if all corruption went up right onto the top, there is no chance of fighting. But let me also say the Indian bureaucracy, though there are a lot of bad things about it, it's also remarkable by the fact that it's not homogeneous. And there are equally powerful forces within the bureaucracy which want reform. I can share with everybody if you want that the RTI Act would have never come into existence if it wasn't for a fact that there were a large number of civil servants in important positions who were supporting it from inside the system, as were politicians. So we have always maintained that if you want to have an effective strategy, identify the good people within the bureaucracy, within the establishment, join hands with them, and then jointly fight people inside or outside who are not so good. So I am not one of those who would do a lot of bureaucracy bashing. Secondly, why are we forgetting the politicians? If you ask me a choice, I would say the politicians have more to answer.
Personal gain, the way corruption is seeped in the bureaucracy, as even the political masters, the way that the reasons which they are given to go ahead with a certain proposal. Do you feel, Ms. Jha, as far as your report on the BPL services earlier was concerned, do you feel it's also for us to check the bureaucracy, and of course Lokpal at this moment will help us in checking the bureaucracy also?
Bureaucrats are public servants, so they are accountable to people. They are supposed to be transparent, and it is for people also with tools such as RTI, they are becoming more accountable. I agree with Mr. Singh that politicians, because we also have a survey where we try to figure out which is the most corrupt institution of the country. So politicians come first, followed by bureaucrats and administrators. So definitely the common people in the country feel that politicians are most corrupt. Also, bureaucrats have to be accountable. Our below poverty line survey of 2008 shows that in lot of need-based and basic services, they have been demanding bribe. But if politicians have, ultimately, we should not forget that politicians have been put to that position. Lot of trust has gone in giving them that position, so they have to be very clean. And bureaucrats
be accountable, but also people say that because the cases are handled in a very clumsy manner, that's why they're not made accountable. There is no fear, and that's one reason that bureaucrats, as well as politicians, maybe this is also the time to introduce electoral reforms that will bring in a lot of change. But what role civil society can play, apart from the fact they have indeed played a very strong role? As a pressure group, do you think that there's much to be done by the civil society?
Civil society is a very amorphous phrase, and we don't know because it's not one particular group of people. There are differences within the civil society or organized groups of citizens demanding. In its most, to that extent, yes. But if it means that periodically we must assemble in, of course, there's no doubt that people coming out and expressing their point of view is important, and people making the law must listen. And probably because elections are around the corner and therefore you need to go back to them, and all these matters, if there is a lot of resentment and even a perception that the government is not delivering, these things matter, and that is important. But I don't think every expression...
It is only because of the people's pressure we are seeing Lokpal Bill now, 40 years, after 40 years it will be coming in the parliament again.
Well, there is people's pressure, there have been organized groups which are...
The enactments and the stringent measures which the government... So it seems as if the government is always in a denial mode, and only when you build in pressure, they accept and then they start bringing changes.
The thing is that if we talk about institutions, it might be helpful, because we expect that different institutions institutions must be performing their role. It's just that for a long while people think that, well, institutions have been able to fudge or not deliver on time or just not take care of it, or that they think sometimes there is too much either indifference or interference. And for that certainly people want, and they are, since this has become so common and large numbers of people really are involved in the market, in the public sphere, so they do want some kind of protection. To check what politicians are doing, we have the Lokpal, we would hope, well, that will function to curb.
Right. Last 3 minutes on the show. This is what my producer is telling me now. Final comments. I'll start with you, Mr. Dua. Where are we headed? Lokpal bill, very optimistic.
I think it will help in checking politician, bureaucracy, others in the. It's not politicians or bureaucracy. Whosoever is corrupt, whether you work as politician or whether you are bureaucrat, it is the nexus that has been very responsible for serious corruption in India. Nexus between politicians, bureaucracy, and the property builder or businessman outside. This nexus, and lately in some states, criminals also. Now, that nexus this nexus, politicians can't do anything without the help of bureaucrats. So they collaborate, and both collaborate with the businessman outside or the contractor outside or whosoever.
So, final comments from you, Professor Mahajan, quickly.
Well, as has been said, I think we can't expect that in one stroke corruption is going to come to an end. We also know that when we talked about corruption, we were only talking about institution complex and very complicated one. But this is one good and important step.
This is just the beginning. Final comments from you, Ms. Jha.
Well,